2TC, or 2 Tower Chimps, an achievement in Bloons Tower Defense 6 where you need to place down only 2 towers throughout the entire game, and you gotta beat from round 6 to round 100 using only those 2 selected towers. And today, we're going to be using the MOAB Domination with the Energizer. And they both complement each other really well because the Energizer is brilliant against the masses of weaker balloons, and the MOAB Domination is very good against single targets which are huge. So we're going to be doing just that today, and we're going to be placing down our submarine here, and let's get cracking. Usually I would place the submarine just a little bit further down, but I think the earlier camo decamification is going to be more necessary if the range of the submarine is more or less up here than it is down here. I feel like we're going to need the reach down south here. Good thing about either of these towers that you can place them down right off the bat on round 6, which is what we're going to be doing here. Now, where should I put this thing? Should I put it here so that it's closer to reach the balloons with, or should I put it over here so that it's always traveling in a straight line and therefore knocking back balloons here and there? Pretty difficult really, because one reaches them sooner, but one is better for controlling both of these lanes. So lanes going down here, then lanes going over there as well. I'm going to try and be risky here. I'm going to try and place them over here and see how we crack along here. So we're going to use... You know what, for today, we're going to try improved range and glaives and have it so that we have less attack speed but more pierce per projectile. And I'm hoping that that increased pierce will be able to get to those pesky DDTs that bit more successfully. Because sometimes when it comes to DDTs, they may tend to not be swayed by your hits if they do not have enough pierce behind them. But I think with the increased pierce, despite the less attack speed, I think we'll be able to have a easier time dealing with them all. Now this is where things are going to get a little bit more difficult here. Should I go with middle path so that the Energizer can hurt DDTs? Or should I go bottom path so that it's better against everything else? So the middle path is able to hit all targets, including leads. But the bottom path is unable to do more damage because twin guns and airburst darts compensate the Energizer as it is when it is submerged, because it does more damage in that way, or it has more rate of fire. Round 23, we have a 302 monkey sub. We're going to submerge it so that camoed balloon becomes decamoed. And we're going to put it back on first. And unlike other kind of runs, we do not need to worry about the submersion support getting too many pops, because this is 2 tower chimps and not 2 mega pops, and this is not a support tower, even though it is kind of a support tower because it decamouflages balloons, but it is still a very good tower to use offensively. I don't know how I was able to say all of that without mucking up my words. And the glaives are different as well. Sorry, the Kylie boomerangs look different with the glaives rather than just the increased rate of fire. We now have the plutonium reactor, and it is best used submerged. So see this line here where the plutonium reactor is affecting the entire screen of this portion of the map here. If we built it just a little bit further below, it means that camouflaged balloons would have less of a chance of becoming decamouflaged, because there are cases where the balloon is fast enough so that it evades the rate of fire in which the Energizer, or sorry, in this case, plutonium reactor is going at, because every time the rays of green light go from the innards to the outers, that's when it's able to apply down the decamification sort of thing. And sometimes balloons can just simply glide through it, but that's more or less the case of submersion support. Plutonium reactor, I think it doesn't hugely matter because it takes damage anyways, regardless of the camo balloon type. Although you still need it for decamifying layers, it just won't be able to pop them. I think it is a good change that Ninja Kiwi did in order to benefit the middle path when paired with the Energizer, because there was a point where the Energizer and the Plutonium Reactor would be able to pop leads even if you don't go middle path. But I think it's a good thing that Ninja Kiwi allowed middle path to shine if you go middle path, so that your Plutonium Reactor and Energizer are able to pop lead balloons, which was, I think, a little bit of an oh, MOAB press, here we go. And I think it presses it just a little bit further if you go glaives rather than the faster firing. Has more potential, but not able to throw them out as much. Although I'm still debating whether or not my decision to put it here rather than, I don't know, a bit closer to the the Plutonium Reactor would have been better. I don't know, what do you think? Put it like top left of this little square here? Or do you think because of how the tower works is better if I position it here? 49, and these will not have any kind of issues for us, considering that the Plutonium Reactor can melt down every single one of these balloons. Both of these towers complement each other's weaknesses very well. This is very good against the masses, and this is very good against single, very powerful targets. So, holy gosh, that took a long time. I may regret both the cross path and the fact that I positioned the MOAB press further away, so I was hoping to use these lines more when the DET pops around. Yeah, this is a struggle. These are just 2 MOABs, and I am struggling against them. We're back around 52. I've changed the position of both of the towers, but also I have gone middle path, cross path, rather than the top one, just so that we're able to throw out those those boomerangs a bit more quickly, and therefore we will be able to have more chances of knocking back the balloons, the blimps themselves, which I think is going to be better. Like, I try to have it here so that the MOAB Domination is able to fire its Kylie boomerangs on the DETs, both going across and going down, and it's able to hit as many as possible because of the orientation of where its Kylie boomerangs are being thrown at. That's why I thought that having it there is a bit more risky, but I think in the long term would have served us better. Round 59 is adjourned. Now we have round 60 ahead of us. Now, in the Plutonium Reactor stage, with bottom path, it is better to go to anything that's not submerged in order to help out defeating the BFB, because this is able to do more damage outside of the submerged status to MOAB class balloons than it is in the Plutonium Reactor stage. But now that they are all in balloon form, we will be able to pop them all just like that. Okay, this is where I think we're going to struggle a little bit, because these regrows are going to be a bit of a nuisance, and the combined might of all of these balloons here is going to be a little bit of a hazard when it comes to our success here. You can see some of them are about to escape there. So I think we need to go Energizer before we can go MOAB Domination. Right, Energizer is up, so let's see how better we can go on here. And as it's now Energizer, you can just keep it like this unless there are any MOAB class balloons on the very outer edge of its range, because the Energizer's reactive radius only really benefits balloons which are just about inside of its radius, rather than just outside of it, where sometimes a tower can attack because of a hitbox radius. I think with the reactor part, it needs to be able to affect every hitbox on the blimp itself, so that then the Energizer can do damage against them. But if it's not the case, then unfortunately they won't do any damage, even if a part of its hitbox zone is inside the range of the Energizer. But that's only incredibly situational. Do a little bit of damage, and now that you're in the radius, see, there's a little bit of portion there where the Energizer did not do any damage, and that's because these BFBs were not far enough within the Energizer's radius in order for its nuclear reactor to do damage against them. Round 70 again presents no issues with the rainbows going into the range of the Energizer, and well, you can see for yourselves that it's doing all of the work necessary to be able to put them all out of their miseries. Even round round 100 super ceramics don't stand a chance against the Energizer. This thing is there for the masses of small little balloons that think they can just get away because there's enough of them on the screen in order to circumvent any kind of PS. Well, this thing has got a huge amount of PS of its own already, I would believe anyways. And I think the only thing that has more PS than this is possibly the Ray of Doom itself. Like, that thing has a huge amount, where to the point where it feels like everything within a line is just completely eviscerated. Like, you're gonna have to spawn enough balloons to crash your PC before a Ray of Doom is able to stop popping ceramics. Round 75 has multiple groups BFB, so I wonder how our MOAB press is able to deal with all of this going on here. We even have fortified BFBs as well, sorry, fortified MOABs as well, which is very interesting. So we have all of those dealt with, which is nice. We have that to deal with. Round 76 is going to be absolutely no problem whatsoever, as you just saw. Round 77 is a different story. Some combinations have different weaknesses when it comes to certain scenarios. So in this case, at the moment, our vulnerability are BFBs. Fortified BFBs, definitely on round 79, is going to be a very interesting challenge to overcome. So I think having the submarine here rather than just a little bit further south so that it covers the bottom portion here has its advantages and disadvantages, but I think the innate ability to decamify DDTs just that bit sooner is going to be what's going to make or break this run here, because having it too far down here means that DDTs could sometimes try and slip through, which is not what we want. Round 78, absolutely no issues with the Energizer at hand, and we are 10k away from the MOAB Dom. The Dom is nearly here to dominate the MOABs. Yeah, they're not making it hugely far, but then again, these are just the regular ones. What about the fortified ones? But that's a different question. That's a different question altogether of all this. So they all going down. Yeah, this is some more damage if it's under the Energizer sort of thing. They're going to be... Oh, that's a little bit of a struggle here. Okay, there's all that. The fortified ceramics is dead. They're all gone down. Round 80 is here with the ZMG there. Let's see how it gets along once you are entering our radius. Let's see, let's put you on strong, then put you back on there. We're going to be switching you when you're down on the southern portion of this middle square here, because then the Energizer's radius itself, its reactor radius, won't be able to do any damage. So let's see. We're going to slow this down now, and there we go, it was stuck on 1, but with this, it's still able to do damage, which is awesome. We kind of need it. There we go, now they're down to BFBs, but still they're going to present a challenge to us. Oh, they're down to those. Oh, dearie me. They are... Oh, gosh, they're a little bit relentless, aren't they? But once they enter the Energizer's range, I think we're going to be golden here. And not Golden Freddy, just golden. There we go. Some of those red ones were a little bit too close for my liking to the exit there. Round 81. I think this should be easier because of the strength of each individualistic balloon itself being weaker than a ZOMG. It's sometimes not the total amount of RBE there is on the screen that's an issue, but the how condensed all of that RB is within a single bit of space. Oh, that's looking a little bit interesting. Oh, we've got the MOAB Dom now. I've just realized that. So our time should be a lot easier now. We should be able to target all these things with a bit more ease involved. Round 82, let's push them back. Keep pushing them back. Let's dominate those MOAB class balloons. And by the way, when I keep saying blimps and MOAB class balloons, I mean the same thing. It's just that they are hot airships, inflated by the many dead souls of balloons that Prince of Darkness has consumed over the years, all compacted back to life by the lords themselves of the balloons universe. I wonder who the balloons god or lord equivalent of the true sun god is, but in their own universe. Possibly all of the bosses, maybe even bosses which have yet to come to life. Maybe there is one boss out there that is just like the complete creator of all balloons, and yet that has yet to enter the fray. They say that no matter what, we are nowhere near close to popping the total population of balloons themselves. They are like Tyranids of a Warhammer 40k universe, if you're into that sort of thing. Like endless numbers, countless quadrillions of them, and yet we are not even close to dominating all of them. Maybe our efforts are always truly in vain because there are just too many of them. But yet, we, as wonderful Balloons Tower Defense players, do our utmost duty to ensure that we can do the best for these monkeys so that they are able to do their service for the monkeyverse against the balloonverse. A clash of two ideologies. A clash between two different races. One will obviously stand on top. One with numerical numbers. And the other with huge firepower. But also within the balloons' numerical numbers are different resiliences and different resistances. Two different attributes in which our balloons can do. Like, let's say, Lich sometimes takes away our buffs because it is a temporary means, and therefore it's able to absorb those buffs and grant itself recovered HP from what it has lost. Okay, here we go. Round 90. This is where I'm thinking the positioning of this is going to be much better because we're able to decamouflage them sooner. Let's see. Super Ceramics. If it's able to deal with this damage to them here, then I truly believe that we have no issues with Super Ceramics if they don't spawn out of these. Okay, so fortified MOABs could be an issue. Let's put it on last, actually, so it's always knocking back the last most one. Even the Energizers are always dealing with the rest of them. So when it's on last, it just means that the Kylie Boomerangs are able to target the backmost and able to fully utilize its pierce. So we're going to put it back on strong. It's really knocking them back, but also I like the fact that they're still knocking them back while the balloons themselves are within the range of the Energizer. Okay, so DDTs, there are more of them this round, and that honestly could be a little bit of a struggle. Round 95 is possibly the most struggling of rounds. I think we'll be able to deal with the fortified DDTs on round 95, but it's a matter of the the numerical amount of DDTs that are going to be around 95 that could be the issue for us. Round 94 is going swimmingly well. Our Energizer doesn't do anything against DDTs other than decamify them. Like, we're sacrificing the ability to pop DDTs with the Energizer so that we do additional damage against everything else. Also leads in general. Right. This is the test here, and I am not confident so far. Like, we're popping them now, but think about the number of them that they're escaping. No, goodness sakes. We might even have to try this on a different map. Because look at how far these DDTs are coming along. That's not good whatsoever. Let's try last instead. But again, it's not dealing any... Yeah, they're being spawned even sooner. Oh, no. I'm honestly thinking that this is just not it. I don't think it's either this map that's not it, or just the fact that we just can't do this. Different map, same scenario. MOAB Domination and the Energizer. And I found out that round 80 was a little bit of hit and miss, actually, with the MOAB Press and then the Energizer. It took a little bit of hit and miss sort of thing, but is this really possible, even though it's documented on the BT6 index? Like, is this actually possible? Am I just hallucinating here? Yeah, this has been done on this map, but yet they're still pretty much very far into the map. Might be some micromanagement when it comes to the targeting of the MOAB Domination itself, but I'm really not finding a solution here. We're on close this time, but I'm still not yielding any results here. Yet there's a DDT that's just about to sneak out of there. Yep, there goes another one. Once they reach that point, it's literally game over, because then the Energizer can't help you out. Yeah, some ceramics are about to escape there, and I doubt the MOAB Domination is able to get them. And even if it does, the DDTs right behind it would escape afterwards. I doubt the hand in which the boomerang is on affects the outcome here, because what I'm trying to do is just target DDTs and only DDTs. Like, there's nothing really else that I can do other than just target with DDTs, hopefully to get them down, and then go from there. But I'm not getting any results here that I'm thinking that is worthwhile. DDTs just... Yep, there we go. There's a ceramic that's about to escape there. Like, it's the position itself. How is the person who's able to do this, well, be able to do it? It's like, it has to do with the targeting priorities in which the MOAB Domination has. There has to be it. Having it at certain priorities at certain times. There's gotta be RNG when it comes to the percentage of how the knockback works, or initiating the knockback in the first place, because I swear some runs I'm getting far more knockbacks than others. Yellow rainbow, so not yellow rainbow, yellow regrows. I'm feeling that I am not skilled enough in order to fully utilize the MOAB Dom's targeting priorities in order to be able to actually do this. It was done by Crowsmad on update 37.3 on the 26th of July of this year, when it was just before update 38. So I'm not too sure if there was any changes in which happened with the MOAB Domination or the Energizer itself, but honestly, I'm not feeling this. I don't feel like I can do this. This feels even harder than Adora Master Bomber 2-Tower Chimps to me. And I know there are going to be some people out there which just feels like that you just need to get better at the game, something like that. I don't want to hear those kind of comments, because I honestly do not care. Those are the kind of things that really just goes out of a window, just makes you avoidable on the internet. So I don't want to hear anything kind of like that. We all have... I thought there's a horse outside. But honestly, for me, that's just going to be my first failure of a video when it comes to being able to successfully do this. It's been documented to have been done, but I don't have the capacity in order to do this with my current skill level at this game. I've always said this, I am not a good player at this game, and it's self-evident of that. Like I even said with Special Operations 2 Mega Pops, that with the recent changes to it, which I feel nerf the Tower Warp and buff it, has made it so that it feels like whatever chances that had for a 2 Mega Pops is flown out the window. But that's already been documented to have a 2 Mega Pops a while ago, and another one recently on the cabin as well. So for me, this is not a 2-tower chimps that I could possibly do. But what kind of things did I do wrong there? Was it the targeting priority? Was it the positioning? Should I have had the Energizer on a 520 so that it's able to damage those DDTs? But then again, with everything else, then everything would just fall through. Like some of those super ceramics we were really struggling with the Energizer. I know Energizer is one of the best towers against super ceramics, but yet even they had a pretty good time against it. Like they were going down to the bottommost like row there, and I feel like with my tower positionings they were like on match with Crowbar's own positioning. So I think it comes down to extremely specific micromanaging with the targeting priorities, so that the MOAB Domination is always targeting somewhere very specific, but I do not have the patience in order to find that out. And honestly, I feel like the Psy Master Bomber 2-tower chimps has less RNG on round 95 than this combination does. Like the knockback with the MOAB Domination is an RNG factor, I feel, and you cannot completely remove RNG from a game, but with the Psy Master Bomber 2-tower chimps combo, there was less RNG involved, because if, let's say, if a Master Bomber misses one of its sticks on a DDT, then it's yes or no. But with a knockback, yes, it is yes or no, but at the end of the day, it feels like a coin flip as to whether or not it actually does that. I know I've just said exactly the same thing, but it feels like a dice roll. That's a better analogy. A dice roll, and you either get 1, 2, 3, which is no, 4, 5, 6, which is yes, it works. So it could work or it could not work. For me, this is too hard of a challenge in order to pursue, and sorry for this long rambling of an introduction, but for me, it's nearly the end of the day, as you can tell by here. For some other reason, Ninja Kiwi thinks it's nearly 9 o'clock for me. I guarantee you it's nearly 10 o'clock for me in the evening. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know what I did wrong for round 95 and see if I can improve on this on a future video, trying to cover this again. Like, I don't see any benefits to going with the 520 route with the Energizer. I honestly think that the damage penalty that you would have otherwise would hinder you on round 98, when you really need that extra damage output rather than the ability to pop leads. But the MOAB Domination's lack of camo detection is what really gets us there. If we were able to strike at the DDTs from the get-go, like when they spawn into the map, then that is definitely far different than trying to rely on the Energizer to decamify them. Thank you so much for watching, and take care of yourselves, everyone.